Are you ready? Stand by.
Hundreds of thousands of Canadians are involved in shooting sports. We traveled the country to bring you the events and the people that make this incredible community unlike any other. Welcome to the CCFR's Canada Downrange.
I'm Fred Pellegrino from TACCOM Canada. So TACCOM is a tactical and competitive shooting sports show. So basically a bunch of us were sitting in a round table, and talking about maybe doing a trade show. We knew that Canada needed something like this. There was nothing like it. What I mean by that is, it's more than just a gun show. Our idea was, let's make this the biggest show in the country. So in 2018, when we did the test version here, it went well. So immediately we said, you know what, this is something that will work here in Canada. Even though Canada is very different than the States, we thought, you know what, let's improve on this. Let's make this a big show. In the firearms world, anything firearms or firearms related was at this show. So we niched it out. We didn't have people selling spatulas and fly swatters there. We invited everybody from the US, everyone from Canada and Europe. So we thought, okay, well, we'll bring everybody together from all over the world to Canada, and let's put on a big show and show the world basically that we are a player now. To see that line building like 20 minutes before the show, that was just remarkable. It must have been 2,000 people in line. Then it was just a sign of relief, because I had spent probably 14 months in my office, closed door, working on this show, for like 14 months straight. It's for the firearms enthusiast. If you've got a gun license in Canada, this was a show that you could go to. You could see everything that's available for sale. We also had 10 of the top retailers there as well. So if you wanted to purchase something, they had deals that were going on during the weekend. TACCOM was the same vendors as SHOT Show, so all the manufacturers were there and all the brands were there, but it was open to the public. So Joe Public could go there and actually see everything that he could buy in Canada. So TACCOM pretty much brought out everybody, and I mean everyone. It was a very diverse atmosphere. You can probably tell from any videos you've seen online, or if you were there yourself. I heard it from vendors. I heard that specific detail from the media as well. That they were very shocked at how diverse the atmosphere was at the show. I mean, you had little kids there right up until a 75-year-old man. One thing that we thought would be really good to have at the show would be like a seminar series, a panel, discussions. So we set up a stage in the back. We brought in celebrities from the US that have never even been here before.
Good only needs to be good enough in a gunfight. If you're telling me torso, sights are there, fire.
We had seminars running all weekend, starting from Friday afternoon until Sunday. We decided to have a firearms industry panel, and we had people speak on the topic.
Get on the board of your club, or just volunteer for your club to say, you know what, I will organize that event. I have a great idea. I'll organize the event. I'll grab a couple other people from the club and then make it happen. I think we lack follow through, maybe, right?
A big person that we had come over from Alberta was Michelle Rempel from the Conservative Party.
And then they introduced Bill C-71. This is going to address firearms-related violence in Canada. It did nothing to address firearms violence in Canada. The people in this room, if you're here and you're concerned about this issue, the people in this room are more than happy to jump through every hoop to keep our country safe.
Last but not least, we had Master Ken come up and do a couple of half-hour shows on the weekend.
I actually decide to draw my weapon, but he gets hold of it, okay? Gonna go for the groin. Okay? Now, In order to gain leverage, I'm going to grab the barrel of the weapon and turn it upward. This is when I check to see if the weapon is loaded. And it is.
The main thing for me was putting on this big venue and also the security of it. I wanted the public to be safe. You never know these days, right? Anything can happen. So myself, during the show, I actually spent a lot of time with Peel Police, walking around and, just patrolling the area and stuff like that. And, the main thing was just that we got through each day without any incidents. A show like this, you're talking to me, but I had probably 15 companies that helped me put this together that were running in the background. And I'm talking about, cleaning crews and show management. The list goes on. There's about 15 companies, parking management, security. These are all separate companies that TACCOM hired to work that day. So I think in total is maybe 50 staff. When we put the show together, we thought, you know what, we need to include everyone. So on a regular basis, specifically the retail stores are in competition with each other. And TACCOM was a way to get rid of that competition and bring us all under one roof. And to be honest with myself, being the owner of Firearms Outlet, on my cell phone, I have the phone numbers of probably my 5 top #1 competitors in the industry. I can phone any one of them up right now and we just chit chat. And that was unheard of in this industry before that.
The CCFR's Canada Downrange is brought to you by The Shooting Edge, SFRC, Select Shooting Supplies, the Calgary Shooting Center, Target Sports Canada, and Canuck and Bagheera.
The last hour of the show for any promoter, it's like, okay, it's wrap up. We're getting ready because the normal person doesn't know this, but when a show closes, you've got your whole move out happening right away. So there's a lot of moving parts. Like the last hour of a show, there's 100 trucks outside backing in, getting ready to take stuff. You've got staffing, especially at the end of a show. Usually that's when something could go wrong because everything's wrapping up. That maybe somebody would steal something at the end of the show. There's a million things going through. So I had asked the police to stay an extra hour. But this is move out. And I don't want anybody around here when we're moving. We'll start to move out because there's a lot of bodies moving around. At 6 o'clock, from 6 to maybe 6:30, if they can be at these gate doors, as everybody's just coming out. One thing I did forget about was just the normal staff, like the people at the door that were taking the tickets, the normal security that was checking people's bags going out. So I just went up to the front and I was just double checking, I know the show's done at 6, but you can't leave at 6. You guys are here till when, 6? 4? 4:30? Where's Tom?
But she's staying later.
What time are you here till? 5:30. 5:30? Who's here till 6 though? What do you mean nobody? The thing's open till 6. What time are you guys done? 6? You're gonna be here till what time?
6.
Till 6?
Yeah.
Well, is there another guard coming at 6?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
Who knows?
Start tomorrow.
What time are you guys here till?
Everybody else finished at 6.
Okay, the problem is people are still gonna be in the show. We gotta get them out.
Yeah.
So they gotta wand them out. They can't just all walk away at 6 o'clock. So, you gotta wait 10 more minutes after the show's done because people are still walking. They don't leave at 6. The last 2 days, as we know, they were leaving at 7. So I need you here for 10 more minutes past your shift if that's possible. So if they're done at 6 though, and it's 6:10, what are they gonna do? So I was kind of getting a little stressed out because I'm like, these people are gonna leave. I'm gonna have no staff at the front. It's just me. So. If I had to look at the whole show from, putting the whole show together to the show executing, the whole weekend, everything that happened, I actually wouldn't change one thing. We are 150% satisfied with everything that happened. We just want to thank all the vendors that came. You made our job easy by being able to, tell us that you support us, you trust TACCOM. We're super excited about TACCOM 2020. Save the date, it's September 11, 12, and 13. The show's gonna be bigger, better, and beyond anybody's expectations. We partnered with Coat of Arms to do an awards night. So I sat down with the boys from Coat of Arms and we discussed this and we said, you know what, let's do a VIP dinner and awards night all in one. And then we actually blended in Master Ken in there as well. So I thought, you know what, I've done these events before in the past as well. So in experience with that, we thought, you know, let's keep this thing light. Let's keep it fun. These people have worked all day. It was Saturday, so it was the busiest day at the show. They're tired, you know, we got to feed them and then we got to entertain them. So that's what we did.
Coat of Arms Golden Bullet Awards came together because we were looking at so many incredible people that we had the opportunity to be able to work with over the years. And we thought there's nothing really celebrating them or being able to give them the exposure that we felt they deserved. And we thought that these awards were long overdue.
We put on a very spectacular VIP dinner. You know, full stage, full dressed up room, lighting, you know, we went all out.
First off, I just want to start by saying that we are super honored to be here at this event. So to have the Coat of Arms Golden Bullet Awards be hosted here at TACCOM is a huge honor to us. And I'll tell you a quick little story. So Doug and I had a humble idea of doing an awards ceremony that was going to honor all of you and the people that don't get enough credit for the hard work that each and every one of you do. And we thought in a small way we might be able to recognize you guys.
The way Coat of Arms designed the whole night was that nobody knew they were winning. So everyone going up there, it was very genuine. You could probably tell, like they were just like wowed that they were the winner of that specific award.
There were so many different options that we could have come up with, but we only had 13 awards to be able to give out because there's only so much time in the evening. And we tried to really narrow it down to things such as, you know, men shooter of the year, woman shooter of the year. And I mean, it really could have been IPSC, shotgun, trap shooting. I mean, there's so many different areas and we kind of categorized it, not only for their shooting abilities, but also for their contribution to the community and somebody who is a great ambassador of the sport as well.
It's fantastic to have probably the bulk of the Canadian firearms industry all in one room, which doesn't happen very often, to be quite honest.
I think the night, having the VIP night was great for everyone to come together. I mean, we're all in the industry for the most part. Most of the manufacturers and distributors are all in competition with each other. But this night was kind of like, hey, we're coming together, we're gonna eat after this great show that we just had. It was just nice to see everything come together.
So this next award that we're giving out is the Firearms Instructor of the Year Award. So I had the pleasure of meeting Mike Brake at one of his training academy courses. It was a beginner to precision rifle. And right away I knew that just his interactions with his students, this was a guy who really deserved to get recognized for the hard work he put in with his students, and the curriculum that he had was second to none. Him and his wife Lisa are outstanding individuals. They are great ambassadors for the sport, and I am super excited for this award. The next award is the Aspiring Youth Award, and this one's important because it's going to be given to a youth that is very passionate and somebody who's dedicated to honing their craft.
So Ryan Dobbs is quite an accomplished young man for his age. I actually ran into Ryan like 3 years earlier. He was training with Eric Raffel in Ontario, and to see him come so far in so little time as a youth shooter is absolutely incredible, and we were honored to give him this award.
A couple people I'd like to thank that supported me along the way. First off, both my parents, amazing amount of support from both of them.
We have a little bit of a surprise to kind of add on in addition to this award.
I'd like to announce that we want to offer Ryan a sponsorship with Coat of Arms Coffee as our very first youth that we're going to be sponsoring with the proceeds from our coffee. Guys, I'm super excited to give this award off because I don't think you'll ever find a more humble human being and somebody that dedicates more to their craft than this gentleman here.
Nicholas Johnson is a really cool cat. He really digs deep into the topics that are difficult to talk about in the Canadian firearms world with respect to politics, laws, and he puts himself out there, and he has a great following because of that.
And I think this is the award that I am very, very honored to hand off to this gentleman. So, sir, come on up.
First of all, thank you very much to Corey and Doug. I'm absolutely touched to receive this award and especially inspired by what you guys are doing to promote the industry. And I think what is happening here tonight is pretty magical for this industry. This is my personal opinion, obviously. I don't speak on behalf of anybody, but what Fred and the team and the vendors have achieved in the past 2 days and will do again tomorrow is absolutely incredible, something we have never seen in this industry, right? It's like hearing SHOT Show, it's like NRA Show. This is the first of its kind, the largest of its kind, the only of its kind, and I want to make sure, probably with a lot of other people, that it is not the last of its kind. Thank you very much.
So as we progress through the award show tonight, I'm going to be teaching you some self-defense to show you why Ameridote has become so popular all around the world. Mainly it's because it's a science. It's the science of street fighting. I like to think of my dojo as a laboratory of violence, which makes me a professor of pain with a master's degree in mutilation and a doctorate in destruction. I also have an associate's degree in massage therapy.
So we have a really big award coming up, and I'm really excited to see how this one plays out. This award is the Lifetime Achievement Award.
The CCFR's Canada Downrange is brought to you by The Shooting Edge, SFRC, Select Shooting Supplies, the Calgary Shooting Center, Target Sports Canada, and Canuck and Bagheera.
So this next award isn't something that we have a video for per se to introduce, because this is something I wanted to introduce. And this one's very near and dear to me, and I just wanted to tell a little story. So this one's the Lifetime Achievement Award. And I know that there's a few people in this room that deserve this award, and we'll get there eventually. But this particular gentleman, I had the pleasure of meeting at SHOT Show, and I was doing an interview with him. And I asked him, I said, you know, what does a project having, you know, such a success mean to you? And he paused, and he didn't respond, and there was this continued pause. And I thought, I didn't know how I offended him. And afterwards, we were at Stratosphere and then went out for drinks very, very late. And he grabbed a hold of me and he said, "You bastard." He goes, "You got me emotional." He goes, I was trying to choke back the tears because he realized how much work went into this project. Without further ado, if you could please play the video.
I'm John Hipwell, owner-operator of Wolverine Supplies.
John and Pat started this 30 years ago, just the two of them in their living room.
They started it as mom and pa small business. When I first started here, John said this is a family business. We treat employees like family.
I have a tremendous wife. Pat's always supported me. If I didn't have my wife beside me, I would be lost. They say behind every successful man there's a good woman.
John is just, he's always there. If you need him, he is there for you.
My rationale was very simple. I would tell my salespeople,
treat the customer how you want to be treated.
It's the culmination of nearly 70 years' work. Wolverine is my mark on this world. I'm not sure where to begin. I really would prefer to be sitting at home on the John Deere putting the last of my hay up. My wife, my family around me, my son Matt and his wife Jen, who now run Wolverine. This is where the future is. We will finish up in Canada with the gun control system that we collectively deserve. It is up to us. I've believed from the day I arrived in Canada that this country was a democratic country. That's one of the 3 reasons I came here. By the way, the other 2 was I needed big game hunting and cheap farmland.
That's why everybody came here.
But seriously, everybody in this room needs to go out and talk to every customer, client, friend, relative. We need to get motivated for the next election, because if we lose the next election, if the Liberals have a minority even, we are finished. The writing is on the wall. This is a turning point for the whole industry. And whilst we have advocacy groups that attack each other, whilst we have dealers that attack each other, we are not going to succeed. I could say a lot more, but I should have had a few more scotches and I should have written out a few notes, and I did neither. Thank you all. I'm very humbled.
The whole room was really in tune to every word that he was saying, and I think he really hit the nail on the head. And in regards to trying to unify our firearms community, I don't think it could have came at a better time.
I mean, I don't think there's anything like this. The awards night in itself was almost like TACCOM. There was nothing like this. Nothing ever happened like this before. This was like a mini Oscars for our industry. And it was great that they gave 13 awards to 13 deserving people.
Literally the Oscars of the Canadian firearms world, but there was a lot of fun had. I mean, people were having a great time. There was entertainment. Master Ken did a great show. He had everybody in stitches, so great event all around.
We can't wait for next year. There's going to be more awards, and we're going to be honoring a lot more people who deserve it. So thank you all for your support, and we can't wait till next year.
Remember, if you don't stand up for your own ability to own and use firearms, who will? Join the CCFR or donate right now at www.firearmrights.ca.